Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the small unit formations portion of this video. This is going to be utilized in your local FLX that you'll be soon participating in, and it's important not only here at the detachment, but at field training as well. Now, the 6 small unit formations are located here. We're going to talk about the 4 dominant ones. The dominant ones are going to be line, diamond, wedge, and file. The first one is line formation. So if you are in a grass field and you need to cover as much space as you can, then use line formation. The fire team leader will normally be found somewhere in the middle, either be on the right side, left side, wherever they're most comfortable. Secondly, we have diamond formation. Diamond formation is great to have when you're in a really tight space. For example, when you're clearing a building. Team leaders will normally be found either at the point or in the middle, and then you've got your rear guys and then your side guys. Again, like I said, you really want to use diamond formation in those tight spaces. Next up, we have wedge formation. Wedge formation is extremely effective and powerful in the battlefield when properly used with bounding techniques. We'll talk about bounding here in a later portion of the video. And lastly, we have the file formation. File formation is fantastic to keep your troops safe and minimize casualties when ambushed on a roadway. File formation is mainly used in roadways or thick brush, where your fire team leader will be found somewhere near the point man, and you're going to move forward from there. This concludes these small unit formations of the video. If you have any more questions, make sure to read through the FTM. Alright cadets, welcome to the second portion of the video. Here we're going to be discussing important hand signals for you to use within your fire team, as well as communicating with other fire teams within your squadron. The first one we want to cover is attention. Attention is done like so. This is to get the attention of your flight mates or the other fire team that you are working with. Alright, the second hand signal that we're going to be covering is about as universal as you can possibly get. It is message acknowledged, done like so. It's just a giant thumbs up to whoever you're communicating. The third important hand signal that we're going to be covering is danger area. So if the fire team leader or anybody else in the fire team feels that they have come upon a danger area, then you would go ahead like this with your neck and your hand, just showing off. It's also quite universal. Don't go there, danger area. The fourth hand signal that we're going to be covering here is freeze. Freeze will be done like so, normally done by the fire team leader. So if you're walking or patrolling with your fire team and you see something and you want to stop, you pop up your arm like this and you freeze. This will then signal, and then if you are within the fire team, you need to communicate this down the line. So if you see your fire team leader come up with the freeze, then you need to come up with the freeze. Therefore, the person behind you can come up with the freeze, and you just send it down the chain. The last major and most important hand signal that's going to be helping you here at the upcoming FLX is rally on me. It'll be done like so. This is to get the attention of your fire team as well as the entire squadron that you're working with to accomplish the mission. This will get the cadets on you, and therefore you can prepare them for the next upcoming mission that you'll have. Again, it is important to follow proper etiquette when using hand signals. Lastly, this is not all the hand signals that can help you succeed not only at FLX but at field training as well. It is important to open up your 2022 field training manual to find the proper hand signals and a whole more list of things that can help you out to your success. Alright, lastly we're going to cover 3 important things that you should do on the battlefield, proper etiquette between you and your wingman. The first one is calling incoming. Anytime you hear a whistling or an explosion that is close to your fire team or squadron, it is important to yell incoming and then hit the prone position to avoid shrapnel to the best of your abilities. Secondly, it'll be movement. If you see movement of enemy forces, then your job is to call movement within your flight, especially if you're the fire team leader, and give an estimated distance of how far they are. So if I see Cadet Captain Stinger running across right here, I should yell movement 8 yards. Lastly, you want to call contact. If you are receiving contact, then it's important that you should yell receiving contact and then your best guess of where they are. You could either use cardinal directions or you could use directions such as 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, so on and so forth. So if I'm receiving contact from Cadet Captain Stinger at 2 o'clock, I would say contact 2 o'clock 8 yards away to fire towards the 2 o'clock position, my 2 o'clock position, to eliminate or neutralize the forces there. If you have any more questions, it is important to visit, again, your 2022 FTM manual that has all of the things that you need in there to properly lead your flight and your cadets to success.
Hello cadets, I'm Cadet Captain Stinger, and today I'm going to talk about land navigation and preparation for FLX. So in overview, we're going to go over maps, protractors, compasses, and paces. So first, maps. There's different types of maps. There's satellite and topographical and a couple more. But the one that we're going to be using at FLX is going to be a satellite map, and it's going to have a grid system on it. So this grid system is actually called the Military Grid Reference System. Basically, each square is, depending on the scale of the map, is going to be 1 kilometer, 10 kilometers, 100 kilometers, and so on, multiplied by 10. So to use this map, you're going to need a protractor. And those protractors look like this, and they have multiple different scales on it to apply to the map, and you can dial in on one box in the map and see where exactly a coordinate is pointing at. So at FLX, you'll learn more about how to actually apply the coordinates and how to read them and interpret them to actually apply to the map. Compasses will be used at FLX, but we'll be going into more detail at FLX about how to use them. Your pace count is really important because it helps you keep track of how far you've traveled. And every map has that grid system to tell you how far one point is away from another. To track your paces, you set up a 100-meter length on a field, which we'll have at FLX, and then you walk normally from one side to the other and count every left foot, and that number is your pace count. And that means every time, if my pace count is 22, every time I step 22 paces with my left foot, it means I traveled 100 meters. And that's just a better way to keep track of how far you've gone. Make sure you read over the land navigation portion in your field training manual, and it'll help you further prepare for FLX.